So therefore here, barakallahu fikum, he mentioned, Hafidhahullah Shaykh Ubayd al-Jabiri, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a long life and make his feet firm upon the Tawheed. Ameen. So he mentioned that it is a must, la Buddha. It's a must, Abdullah. You know, in your language, you guys say la Buddha, right? In their language, they say la Buddha, but it is stolen from Arabiya, right? It's just like, alhamdulillah, at one point, the Arabic language, or I would not say even the Arabic language, I would say the Islamic culture had indeed had a great influence in all aspects of life. In all aspects of life, at some point. There are a course that the kids take that is not a English term, right? Algebra, right? It's not. This shows you, barakallah fikum, the influence that the Arabic language has. And this was when, alhamdulillah, Islam, barakallah, was well respected by the disbelievers. But the reason being was that the believers at that time, they were firm upon their religion. وَعَلَى الْأَسَفَ الشَّدِيدِ. Unfortunately, it's the opposite. The Muslims themselves don't have no respect for their religion. To the point that if you don't study English, it's like you are left out. People will put more emphasis in the English language or in French rather than, barakallah fikum, alhamdulillah, the Quran. Right? Inna anzalna Qur'anan Arabiyan. But look what comes after that. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. He didn't reveal it in English. There is a reason, barakallah fikum. We ain't fanatic about a language. But we love what Allah chose more than what He did not choose. But now people be venting and bragging about how well they speak French or how well they speak English. I'm talking about the Muslims. And for somebody that speak Arabic, right, or somebody that is even going to taking Arabic in school, he is looked down. You're making fun of them to the point that you don't want to even go and, follow the Arabic branch, where you would take all the courses but in Arabic, right? You rather take all the courses in English. And this is also, barakallah fikum, that mind factor, right? That low self-esteem that you find among the Muslims, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who are firm upon their religion. So he mentioned, and make us among those who love what Allah loves. Ameen. Yawm al-Qiyamah, nobody will be asked about their background. Allah won't ask you are from VA. Were you from VA? He will ask you that. Where are you from? Grady baby? MashaAllah. Allah barik feek. Right? For real, are you Grady baby? Allah won't ask you that, barakallah feek. Allah won't ask me, were you from Senegal? No. Because this is from the servitude that none of us had a choice in it. None of us had a choice of it. له أسلم من في السماوات والأرض طوعا وكرها وإليه ترجعون. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala submitted everything in the heavens and the earth, willingly or unwillingly. So this is the servitude that you and I, we will not be, barakallah fikum, unless you want to utilize that in act of disobedience to Allah. Or you want to utilize it into not doing the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore here he mentioned hafidhahullah. He say the person that deny the obligation of the salah is not, the salah will not benefit him if he prays. Now he's praying because, he's just praying because everybody praying. I don't want to be left out. هذا لا ينفعه أبدا. لا بد باعتقاد بوجوب الصلاة. He must believe in the obligation of the salah. He must believe in the obligation of the salah. He say وإنها من الفرائض الواجبة. And he believed that it is from those fara'id, those obligatory, that are meaning obligatory parts of the deen. He say, على الأعيان. على الأعيان, it mean here, what you call fardu ayn. Fardu ayn. Because you got two types of fara'id. You got two types of fara'id. Two types of obligations. You got what is called the communal obligation, and you have what you call the individual obligation. Right? The communal obligation. Meaning, إذا قام به البعض سقط عن بعض. If one establish that, then the sin will be removed from the rest of them. This is the communal obligation. Right? For instance, let me be asking you the hard stuff. You only get the hard stuff, not the easy stuff. Abdullah. Huh? Huh? Right. Give me an example of fardu ayn. No, I didn't say fardu ayn. I say fardu kifaya. Kifaya, meaning a communal. I didn't say that in Arabic. Huh? Ma'adhir, I'm sorry. I just say it straight in English. You have what is called fardu ayn and fardu kifaya. Fardu kifaya is when one establish it, the sin will be removed from everyone else. But fardu ayn, it is the personal obligation. Unless you establish it, it's still on you. And nobody will do it on your behalf. It's just like you're hungry. Right? You ain't going to tell, hey, Talha, eat on my behalf. No, it's not going to happen. Na'am, Abdullah. Oh man, I love chicken, Shaykh. But Faddal, eat on my behalf. Fardu kifaya. Enjoy. May Allah bless your food, Ameen. Now I say a communal obligation, fardu kifaya. Right. Give me an example. Fardu kifaya. You understand fardu kifaya?
Yeah, it's you have to do it together.
If one do it, it's enough for everybody. If one person do it, it's enough for everybody.
Okay.
If some people do it, it's enough for everybody.
It's slower.
No. If you do it, am I going to do it? If you slaughter your sheep, is it still upon me if I got the money to slaughter? If you, Abdullah, slaughter. Huh? Right. No. Because for instance, in Masjid Germantown, right? It's a perfect example, right? If in Germantown they call the adhan, in Ibn Abbas, are we going to say we don't call the adhan? In Masjid Tawheed call the adhan, are we going to say it's enough? Nobody else need to call the adhan? La. We still have to call the adhan here. You don't say, okay, at the masjid they call the adhan. And I'm praying, for instance, on my house for some reason, me and my son, you say we don't call the adhan in it? No.
Let's say in the salah,
Yeah, but you still got to rectify. Depending also what is the mistake. Awa Munira.
Performing a janazah for a dead Muslim.
Akhi, let somebody eat with him. This is. He's not waiting for me to say it twice. Big guy. Naam, Abu Munira.
Performing a janazah for a dead Muslim.
Ahsanta. Performing the janazah. Right? Performing the janazah upon the deceased one. If a group of people do it, alhamdulillah, saqita an al-ba'd. It will be lifted upon that responsibility is lifted upon everybody else. Let's say a person died. Tayyib, we have Abdul Rahman, Hamza, Ihsan, Shaykh Abdul Razak, Abu Sufyan. They pray in the janazah. Tayyib, maybe perhaps we are going to the hospital to visit a sick brother. Are we sinful? No, because they have established that obligation. So them establishing that obligation is enough for the rest of them, for the rest of the ummah. But if nobody, barakallahu fikum, does it, then this will be a sin upon everybody until they establish that act of worship. Give it another example, Ustaz.
If not everybody in the community has to memorize the entire.
Very good. If not even the community, if alhamdulillah one believer memorized the Quran, right? Let's say there is only one child that memorized the Quran in Indonesia, for instance, or in Mogadishu, right? For instance, right? There is only one person, then the sin of not memorizing the Quran will be lifted. Na'am, Ustaz. Very good. Calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you have people that, alhamdulillah, because of they are specialized in that, they got knowledge of that, they calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, calling the non-believers, then or even the believers. Tayyib, then barakallah fikum, the sin of not calling to Allah will be removed. So this is what you call the fardu kifaya. Fardu kifaya. The second obligation is what you call fardu ayn, the personal obligation. Is it a better word? Individual. Barakallah. I think it's way better. Jazakallah khairan. You got what is called the individual obligation. Meaning it is not going to be removed. It's not going to be removed. ما دام أنك لم تقم به, as long as you did not establish it, بقي, that responsibility will still remain حتى تقوم عليه, until you establish it. Until you establish it. Example. Salah. أي صلاة. أي صلاة. What salah? Ahsanta. Praying the 5 obligatory prayer. Salatul Jum'ah mathalan. Right? Liman yastahiquhu iqamatu salatul Jum'ah. For the one that is binding upon him to establish the salatul Jum'ah. Al-Muqim. Ahsanta. Kammil. Al-Muqim, for the one that has to establish the Salatul Jum'ah, meaning the resident, غير مسافر. Right? The person that has reached the age of puberty. Al-Muhtalim. Naam. Al-Aqil. Naam. غير مجنون. That's it. Put the second gear. Faddal. 10 minutes. Okay, Jazakallah khairan. 15.
The free one.
Very good. The person that is free, meaning someone that is a slave, it is not an obligation for him to establish Salatul Jum'ah. Another one.